Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome. This is Gun Sports Radio, our basic human rights of self-defense. Show 119, if you can believe it. Go to our webpage, gunsportsradio.com, facebook.com/gunsportsradio. You got a question, got a concern, we're wide open, we're transparent, we'll talk to anybody about anything as long as you're civil. This segment is brought to you by the Gun Range San Diego, 7853 Balboa Avenue, open 10 to 10, 7 days a week. The Gun Range, SanDiego.com, thegunrangesandiego.com. I call it the Nordstroms of gun ranges. If you ever have a need to learn all about guns the right way by the right people, Gun Sports Radio is where you need to be. All right, well, it's been a little bit of a jumbling session today. Michael Schwartz choked on a donut, so he couldn't come in.
Poor guy's illin'. He's illin', Dave.
He's illin' with a donut. Should
Illin'.
hate the glaze, not the chocolate. I tried to tell him.
He's illin', but we've got our great sidekick here, Mr. Joe Drammissi.
Hey, Joe and we rocked it out a couple of times by ourselves.
So. Yeah, happy to be here. And I talked to Michael earlier today, and you don't want Michael sitting in here with us today.
Told you he had a donut and he shouldn't have ate. I tried to tell him. It sounded good anyway.
You're tough. Anyway, hey, real quick, thanks to all the vets out there.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. This is the day that you should hug a vet. Whether he's active, retired, doesn't make any difference, especially if you can find the Vietnam vets. Really give them a big hug because they didn't get the love that we're giving to our military today, and I'm thrilled that our military is getting the love. I was at Paris Auto Speedway last night, and they spread out a 60 by an 80-foot American flag, brought all the vets out of the stands, and we opened up the flag. It was awesome experience. Hey, you got a very, very special guest and a true friend of our show.
Yeah, speaking of well-spoken and knowledgeable folks here in beautiful San Diego, California, we've got the mayor of Coronado, our dear friend Richard Bailey, on the line.
Hey, Richard, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good afternoon, all of you guys. How are you guys doing?
We're not doing as good as you. I was just thinking about it. You're the mayor of probably the coolest city in Southern California.
It certainly is a great city to represent, and I count my blessings every day.
Okay, I knew you did. And
I saw that vigil that you held over in Coronado for the Thousand Oaks folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We have unfortunately, we have a strong local connection to that.
Yep.
To that tragedy. One of our longtime residents, he was a 23-year-old young man named Justin Meeks, who was a Coronado High School grad. Back in, I think, 2013 or 2014, and had just completed his undergrad at Cal Lutheran, was among one of the victims of that shooting. So we held a candlelight vigil for him and for all the victims of that awful, senseless tragedy.
Yeah, which is a really, really nice thing to do. And one of the things we're going to chat on the show today, but I think we're going to bring it up next time, is the fact that California has a law that if you have a CCW, you can't walk into a place that serves alcohol only. And nor can the bartender choose to arm themselves either, just because that's what the law is. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about election results. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the saying all politics is local is certainly true. And much like you saw at the national level, where it was a bit of a mixed bag for both Republicans and Democrats. Democrats obviously took over the House, but Republicans look like they're picking up a couple of seats in the Senate. Here at the local level, it was a bit of a mixed bag for both parties as well. Democrats were able to secure a veto-proof majority with Jen Campbell defeating Councilmember Lori Zaff over in San Diego. And so that'll be interesting to see how those dynamics play out amongst the mayor of San Diego's office and the city council, now that the Democrats will have a veto-proof majority. Up in North County, you saw Carlsbad Mayor Matt Hall hold on to his seat against challenger Corey Schumacher. And same over in San Marcos. You actually had two council members, Rebecca Jones and Chris Orlando, that were vying to take over the mayor's job that was previously held by Jim Desmond. And Republican Rebecca Jones ended up prevailing in that seat. But one race that I've been following very closely that's still yet to be decided is the race for Escondido mayor. You have incumbent Mayor Sam Abed up against Paul McNamara. Right now, there have been over 28,000 votes counted, and the margin between those two is only 70 votes. So Sam Abed currently has a 70-vote lead over Mr. McNamara, and it'll be interesting to see as more ballots get counted, and there's about 400,000 ballots left out that are still being processed right now, how that race ends up.
Well, Sam's been a super mayor for all these years, so I would hate to lose him.
Oh yeah, he's been a great mayor. He is a very proactive mayor. I have the honor of serving with him on the SANDAG board. SANDAG, of course, is our regional transportation agency, and Sam is always a very outspoken representative for North County. He's doing his best to make sure that North County, and specifically Escondido, really gets its fair share of local transportation dollars. So personally, I'm hoping he prevails because I think he's a great representative from Escondido. And so that's kind of a mixed bag. You had a big Democratic victory in San Diego. They might pull this one off in Escondido, but you also had Republican victories in the North County cities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bit some. I don't know.
It's a mixed bag. That's about the best way to explain it.
Not a red tide, not a blue tide.
No, purple.
But I don't know. Have you been, Richard? You've been watching what's going on in Europe as far as with Italy and some of the things happening over there.
In reference to what?
I've been so tied up with local politics, both in Coronado and also regionally. I haven't been following the politics overseas as much. Yeah,
it just the other side. I don't like to use the other side's words. They like to use words like nationalism because somehow that it sounds bad if you're being an American. But it's just not the word I want to use. But it's just the rise of these countries rebuking this lefty socialism, uptick that we've had over the last 100 years, and they're getting rid of it. They're trying to shrug it off. So it's not just it's also in Sweden, and as well as rise in France. And so a lot of the lefties over here like us to think that it's just a problem here in the United States, all of us, and it's not. It's a rebuking in the world of what's happening. How the other side's views are not working, and it's exciting.
And that's really what elections are all about. And you hope that campaigns on both sides are using language that is accurate and fairly represents both candidates or both positions that are on the ballot. Unfortunately, you see throughout our country, and you also see here locally, how candidates can be portrayed in a different light than they actually should be in order to kind of sway voters toward one side or the other. And so I think it's incumbent upon all of us as leaders within our respective communities to set a higher standard for the dialogue that we engage each other with. And I think the radio show does a great job doing that.
Well, I appreciate the kind comments. Joe Drammissi and I were talking before the show just about how, the media itself really has changed over the years, and it really isn't, fair and balanced anymore. It's definitely, one way or the other, and running pretty hard that way. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. And it's interesting because I think the media generally were probably always, tended toward the left a little bit. But I think in years past, they were professional enough to where, okay, yes, my political feelings lean this way or that way, but I'm a professional, I'm doing my job. And they tried to be as even-handed, I think, as they could. And we seem to have lost that now to the point where they're not even, it doesn't seem like they're even trying to fake it anymore. It's just they've decided that it's their job to support one side at the expense of the other side. And I think that's a bad kind of development for Americans because we depend on the media and the press to keep an eye on the government and to watch what they're doing and to call it out, when they see them doing things they shouldn't be doing. And it seems like we've lost that. And I don't follow it so much locally anymore because it's too depressing. But what are your thoughts on that, Richard?
I completely agree. I think that, the purpose of the media, as you mentioned, is to serve as essentially a watchdog on those in power. And so if the media is losing its credibility, then it's harder for the general public to maintain trust in these government institutions. If they're hearing conflicting reports from multiple media outlets, who are they to believe? And I think we all have our own confirmation bias, where we naturally want to seek out media outlets that kind of reinforce our own paradigms, and I think that that's unfortunate that the media is losing its credibility, and that in turn is going to lead to a loss in trust with many of our government institutions.
Richard, let me ask you something. Since you're the mayor, and that's a very that's a very important position, when you do a press conference, do you allow the media to yell questions at you? See, for some reason, that just bothers me to no end. I think it should be professional. You should raise your hand. You, the mayor, if you should point to people and let them ask a question. How do you feel about the tirades and the yelling and that's going on within press rooms nowadays?
Well, Dave, fortunately over here in Coronado, we just try to keep our heads down, keep our nose to the grindstone, and really just focus on delivering results for our community without necessarily having a lot of the press that you see at for other elected officials. But of course, your question is well pointed here. We were at a complete loss for civility. From the media to some of our elected officials. You're absolutely right. Respect needs to be a two-way street here. And I think we're starting to see that breakdown amongst many at the national level.
Right.
And it's very unfortunate. I think it speaks to what we were just talking about, which is as the media loses its credibility, we're going to begin to lose trust in our institutions.
Without a doubt. Well, hey, when you become when you become president, I expect you to whip that White House press room into shape, but I don't want to see any more of this ridiculous attitude.
You got it. Civility all the way.
You got it, brother. You got our vote, 1,000%. All right, man. Hey, we're going to come over to Coronado. You're going to take us to lunch because that's a beautiful place to have lunch, let me tell you.
It's on me. Looking forward to it.
You're the man. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. This is FM 96.1 AM 1170, The Answer, Gun Sports Radio. Don't you touch that dial. Folks, welcome back. Gun Sports Radio right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170, The Answer. Lance Pelkey in the house. Mr. Joe Drammissi is here as well. Michael Schwartz isn't feeling well.
He's out.
There's a Packer game on. Don't give me that. That's what it is. His wife made him sit on the couch and watch the Packer game.
That's probably what it is.
But, hey, we're having a great time, folks. And, hey, Trident Gunsmithing. If you ever get yourself in a situation where you need to work on your gun or if you need to find out if it's legal or not, you know anything at all about firearms, everything from black powder all the way up to today's, you need to go to Trident Gunsmithing, www.tridentgunsmithing.com. Give them a call, 858-577-0576. And if you're a hunter, that's even better. Hey, and if you ever need a lawyer, holy moly, we got the man for you. John Dillon from Gatsky, Dillon & Balance, LLP. This guy can take care of all your legal needs. Just go to cafirearmslaw.com, cafirearmslaw.com. And hey, how can you make your AR rifle legal and keep your features? Well, if you want your AR to have a pistol grip, telescoping stock, foregrip, and still have a detachable magazine, check out Cali Key. Yep, we just found out about them. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Whether you're buying a new AR or need to make yours current AR compliant, Cali Key is a cost-effective, easy solution that will allow you to keep your AR compliant and future-proof your AR from all these horrible California gun laws. If you thought they were bad before, folks, it's just beginning. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at calikey.com. That's Kalikey, Kalikey.com. And last but not least, to any of you or your family, keep a taser, pepper spray, firearms, or other weapons for personal protection Do you have or are you going to get a CCW? Well, if you're involved in an incident, what is your plan to pay for bail, expensive lawyer costs? Well, if you join Firearms Legal Protection for less than $10 a month, you'll have peace of mind knowing a 24-hour hotline and legal representation is waiting for you and your complete family. That's Firearms Legal Protection. Go to www.firearmslegal.com, firearmslegal.com, or you can call them at 469-310-9100. And do me a favor, tell them you heard it right here on Gun Sports Radio. Okie dokie, Smokey.
Well, our good buddy John Dillon couldn't be with us today.
Nope.
So,
honeydews.
Yep. And, I was looking at the San Diego County Gun Owners blog, and then I was reading an article that Joe recently wrote, and it made me feel guilty because that was me. And what he was talking about, and of course he's going to bring it up, but just the fact that, a lot of us have home defense weapons besides Rottweilers, Dave. And but how can we get to it? And a lot of us can't, and I was guilty too. So, Joe?
Well, yeah, I was what I'd written about this last week was can you access your firearm in time to make a difference if something were to happen at home? And what got me thinking about that was I saw a news story a week or two ago. There was a woman in South Carolina, and a guy had come up to her house and was pounding on the door. And it's interesting because you can see she had a security camera out on the porch, and they have the whole thing on video. And I linked to the video in the article if you check out the article on the Gun Owners site.
Yeah, that was cool.
And you could see this guy pounding on the door, and you could see a woman walking back and forth behind him. And the guy pounds on the door for a while, and then he decides to just kick the door in. And he kicks the door open, and he steps inside. And at that point, the homeowner, the woman who was home by herself with her 3 children, shot the guy and made the guy run out of the house. And fortunately, she had called 911, and the police got there soon enough to actually catch this guy and this woman outside. So, after seeing that, I started thinking about it. And I remember how I used to be. I'm not this way anymore, but when I, first got back in the firearms and, I bought these guns, I bought a nice gun safe that I was very proud of, had all my guns locked up in the safe, safely stowed away. And I think part of what made me start thinking about it is getting more into the concealed carry and getting a mindset that was a little more aware of things around me. I started thinking about that and thinking, if something ever happened here, I would never, the guns are useless. I might as well not have guns. And I would never be able to get to them. And if you talk to experts, to trainers, firearms trainers, people like that, and police will say the same thing. If you have a gun in the house for personal protection or home protection, and if you can't get to it in 2 to 3 seconds, you might as well not have it. It's probably not going to be in time. So now I do things a little bit differently now. I having talked it over with my wife, I make sure that we have that in the in the bedroom at night. And the other thing I was what made me write about this a little bit, I was thinking a lot of people probably do this. A lot of gun owners have guns, they have them locked away, they're real safe, but they won't be able to use them. And other things to think about. Do you have a flashlight in the bedroom with you? Do you have a cell phone in the bedroom with you? If you did hear someone break into the house, can you hole up in the bedroom and call 911 and just wait in there? Or is your cell phone out on the kitchen counter charging? And
true.
And the whole idea of writing these articles is just to get people to think about that stuff. I would imagine a number of people read that and were thinking the same way I was. Yeah, I've got all these guns and they're locked up. Another aspect of that is there's another link in the article to a public service video that was made a couple of years ago, talking about the magazine capacity restrictions that we have to deal with.
That was
here.
Really enlightening. I watched that video. I'm going, wow.
Yeah, it's really well made, and a lot of the the laws, actually, the gun control laws.
I don't think Dave has seen it yet. That video,
but he'll certainly have a chance to.
Yeah.
But a lot of those laws make us less safe. Even though the intent is to impede criminals, make us safer, they actually do the opposite. And this public service video what they do is a home invasion, and you could see and it's really well done. The bad guys are cast really well. I remember growing up with people that looked that way, so I think they did a pretty good job. There's a public service video that I linked to on the article that
Dave
I wrote.
was sleeping, by the way.
Yeah. Now I was getting my guess for next hour. Okay.
And the video talks about the problems with the magazine capacity laws, and they show a couple of guys breaking into this man's house, and the man sees him, he looks out the window, he sees him at the doorway holding a gun. So he has his wife call 911. He gets his gun out of the closet. The guy smashes through the front door, pretty similar to what the video looks like in real life from the woman in South Carolina. Well, it looked pretty much like that. Mm-hmm. And the guy shoots at this guy. He misses a couple of times. He hits him a couple of times, and they're showing the shell casings fall on the floor. And you could count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets up to where he's just about out. The other bad guy smashes through the window. It's coming in the house. He shoots one shot at him, and then you see the slide lock back because he was limited.
Means it's empty.
Yep. Yeah, and that was kind of the point of the video. But
the other guy was armed.
But yeah, and so the video ends badly. But these are things you need to think about, people, because most people, I think a lot of gun owners that you talk to, they say their primary reason for owning guns is home defense.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. I hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if the gun is not accessible to you quickly, then it's really not going to help you for home defense. So, hopefully people will think about that. They'll take a look at the article and reassess maybe what they're doing.
And do something about it. Actually, I was at Gun Range San Diego, and they have some nice little boxes. I was also on Amazon, and so there's some neat stuff. It's got the little combos, bink, 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 and then it flies open with the lighting. And then I was at Costco, actually, and they have a really nice box safe to store that you could just bolt right to something, and you hit the little combo deal, and the thing comes flying open, and that was like $79.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have lots of options like that nowadays, and everybody's situation's a little bit different. If you're a younger family, you've got kids around the house, you have to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How is your home laid out? I mean, my home is pretty small. If someone breaks into my home, they're going to be on us in a couple of seconds.
Standing there looking at you.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but different options are available. Like you're saying, the lock boxes that open up pretty quickly. If the kids are out of the house, maybe you don't need that kind of thing at least at night anyway.
Sure.
But everybody's a little bit different. But we have lots of options. And the important part, I think, is to think about it and consider it. You don't want to be thinking about it after the incident happens when you're cleaning up.
Well, it is. And also, too, like for concealed carry. So if you have concealed carry and you're in your car, for instance, with your loaded weapon, you're illegal to do that. And then, for instance, you're gonna walk into a public building that you can't take it. You need to be able to secure it in your car.
Yeah, because you can get a ticket for not securing it in your car.
You have to secure it in your car, so you need something to lock it up in there as well. So there's some really good options for that I've recently found out about.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, we're living at. Someone described it as the golden age of concealed carry, and it really doesn't seem like that in California so much.
I don't know where that came from.
But in the rest of the nation, I think we're over 17 million now concealed carry people in the United States. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of stuff out there. I mean, I picked up something called a console vault that fits right in the console, and it locks up. It's made out of steel, and it's great for that.
Yeah, terrific.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio, and we got our buddy Casey coming up. He is from Gun Range San Diego, right there at 7853 Balboa Avenue in San Diego, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. I like calling it the Nordstroms of gun ranges. All right, let's take a quick break. This is FM 96.1 AM 1170, The Answer, Gun Sports Radio. Don't touch that dial. Hey, welcome back. This is Gun Sports Radio, right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170, The Answer. We are the only gun show in San Diego County that I'm aware of, and we're a big supporter of Gun Range San Diego, right there at 7853 Balboa Avenue. TheGunRangeSanDiego.com is the key to the door for you to check out all the services and all the fun stuff that's going on at the Gun Range San Diego. I'm serious. You really need to check this place out. Hey, and we got the expert over there. Casey is on the line, and he's going to tell us about the grand day, December 7th. It's right around the corner. How you doing, Casey?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
I'm not doing too bad. Just talking radio, and you're over there working hard.
Oh, he's a Marine.
Well, he should be working hard.
Yeah, it's a good day. It's a beautiful Veterans Day. So from here at Gun Range San Diego, we just want to thank all of our veterans out there, but thank you for your selfless service to our country.
No problem. And they didn't give you the day off? Well, come on, what's up with that? Should have been day off with pay at the beach.
He's a Marine.
Well, I was at the beach yesterday, but, I volunteered for this, so, it's a good time. I volunteered to join the military just like the rest of us, and, being thanked is nice, but, at the end of the day, we volunteered. I don't expect any handouts and stuff like that, and, I just want to serve my country. A lot of us that did that, we answered our call, and after that, I'm perfectly fine with what I did.
And you know what? You bring up a really good point, too, because I don't know of anybody that was in the military demanding you to thank them for being in the military. Mm-hmm. You notice that?
Yeah. There's, don't get me wrong, there's some bad eggs out there that where they think that because they served in the, don't get me wrong, serving in the military was a very hard time. Yeah. But we also all volunteered for it, nobody forced us to do this. So when people say thank you for your service, I always say thank you for your support. Right. And that's the easiest way, because I don't want to say, oh, you're welcome. Just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm the same way. And I was in an era when it wasn't all that good back in the 60s. The Vietnam era and everything, and all the turmoil that was going on. And I'm so thankful that we treat our military properly today. I'm just thrilled to death. And I still, every time I see that Budweiser commercial, just kills me. When they're coming through the airport, that is just that's the best. Yeah. And I don't even like Budweiser.
Okay, so
back to work.
Time. Yes, grand old time. So that is coming up December 7th. We're going to have a bunch of periodic weapons from World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. So we're going to have a bunch of great guns. We're actually going to open up part of the rental range to shoot some of these, which is going to be a great time. But one of the bigger ones that we have coming up, which is actually this Saturday, is going to be our 4-year anniversary of being the Gun Range San Diego. And what we're doing is a sale on all guns we have in stock, and it's going to be at 4% over dealer cost. So that's better than, the employee discount, everything. You won't find a better deal in San Diego during that time. That's
I marked my calendar.
10 all day.
Joe Drammissi, did you mark your calendar?
Of course I marked my calendar.
He doesn't have to mark it. He's memorized it. Well, I think I'm going to go down myself because because I went to a different gun store when I was buying guns for my home.
What?
Hey, and my wife, and I know Manny says he can help. Manny says he can fix it. Manny says he can teach my wife to rack a 9mm. But my wife cannot rack that 9mm to save your life. She can do a 6-shot grouping the size of a 50-cent piece, but she can't rack it, and she's never shot a gun in her life. Don't even get me started. So I'm going to go down there because at the prom, she found a gun that Gun Range San Diego had on display. That it's a revolver, and she just fell in love with it. So I'm probably going to be down there.
No, we'll have it for you.
Well, there's not going to be anybody else there, right? It's not going to be crowded or nothing. I don't have to.
No, that'll probably be pretty empty. So you just come on in, and we'll be here.
I'll be there at 9:59. How's that?
It'll probably be there'll probably be a line by then. I'm not even going to lie. It's probably.
You think?
It's going to be a good day. Yeah, we're having all hands on deck. We're already dishing out, we're going to have the guys that are best at the paperwork, doing the paperwork, and guys that are going to be running back and forth from the printers. It's going to be beautiful day.
Yeah, just take a nice nap before you go down. and the thing of it is, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no limitation on firearms that are going to be sold at this 4% deal, right?
Every single gun we have in stock, we can sell. So if we have them in stock, display models, everything, we can sell them. If we run out of them, we can't necessarily order them at that price, but that's why we stocked up before.
Sure. And what about ammo? Because I know I got 1,000 rounds from you guys.
We do bulk ammo sales.
Okay. All right. So that deal's still going on as well? That's excellent.
Yep. Yeah, because the issues with dealing with California ammo sales, you can't purchase them online. So we keep bulk ammo in and match it almost identical to what you'll find on online prices.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things we like to do here, just because we know how hard it is to feed your firearms out here, especially when you have a trigger finger like me. I'm always going through rounds, and I'm just always stocking up. So
Right.
that's why we keep it that way. It's constantly we have shipments of ammo coming in. So
Sure.
we're good.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that has a lot to do with the ownership. You know, I mean, starts at the top, trickles all the way down, and
Yep.
Veronica, I mean, just does such a phenomenon. In fact, you'll see her, folks, most likely out front signing you in on Saturday.
That's true. She'll be here for that. That's knowing Veronica. She'll be here.
I've seen her do it before. I thought, I think I was talking to her. I said, "Hey, Lance, where's the owner?" Oh, she's the one out there signing up all the people coming in the door.
Well, because when the gun range San Diego first started, that's what she was doing.
Right.
So she was working out there out front, and old habits die hard. She'll be back in the office, and knowing her, she'll get a little bored, and then she'll just run out there and just start taking over. Like, all right, okay, yes, you got it.
Well, she likes people, not paperwork.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
She's a lawyer by trade, so nobody that's done law likes the paperwork.
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, Casey, I got to tell you, I like your the videos you're doing on Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. I took over our social media, so that's actually one big thing is for all the listeners out there is actually start following our social media. We're going to be posting a lot of our sales and deals on our social media.
Yeah.
We're going to start doing like rental of the week, gun of the month, various other stuff like that. So it's important to follow that so you can keep track of what we got going on.
Well, plus the action shot, you had Mike. What was he shooting, a SIG or something?
Yep, that was a new SIG P365. So that's that new compact from SIG. We have that on our rental range for people to test out, and if law enforcement want it, they can also come get that in.
He looked really happy shooting it.
Yeah. We actually have the Hudson H9 in, too.
I haven't shot that one.
Newer one that came out from Hudson. It has a very, very low bore axis on it. That thing is smooth. Excellent.
And you guys, the Uzi video was cool, too.
Yep. We got a new Uzi carbine in. That thing's a tank. It's going to take a beating, and it's just fun to shoot. Very easy. Even though we have to have a blade on it, it is still very, very comfortable to shoot.
Yeah. And then you guys still have those Ruger PC9s for sale?
PC9s? We do. Yes.
The 9mm rifle?
We keep plenty of those stock. What's cool about the PC9 is they use Ruger mags, or they actually come with the adapter that you can use your Glock mags in it.
That's what I use. I use the Glock mags. That thing is just fabulous.
Yep. So if you run a Glock and you're looking for a 9mm carbine, the PC9 is a really good one to go for.
Yeah, speaking of fabulous.
Now,
what's that? Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say about the PC9, it's actually a breakdown rifle, so you could break it in half and throw it in your backpack when you're going hiking or whatever else you want to do. It's very compact and easy.
That thing is a lot of fun, and it's accurate as heck. And I just put a little, not a super expensive red dot on it, and I was out there at the barbecue for San Diego County gun owners and with the ARs, and I'm just knocking stuff down just left and right like I knew what I was doing. That thing is just a fabulous rifle.
Yeah, and we see
a really good job on that.
But we see a lot of that, too, because I shoot weekends up at Pala, the USPSA matches, and they've started the last couple of years doing the pistol caliber carbines. So there's people shooting the 9mm rifles.
Yeah, I like that.
And they're a blast. I mean, they're really fast. They
hit
everything
power
they're shooting
and
at.
shoots like a 22. They're just fabulous.
Yeah, they look like a lot of fun.
And you guys have a terrific price on that thing, too.
Yeah, we keep those ones fully in stock just because they are fun. I mean, 5.56 is always fun to shoot too, but it's a little bit more expensive to shoot. And if you're already running a Glock and you have Glock mags, you can get this PC9 carbine. You're going to have a great day. I mean, even though it is 9mm, you're still going to be able to reach out and have fun with it. Like, I have people come out to my range and we shoot 100 yards with them, and it's just fun.
Yeah, because I run my my Glock 19 and Glock 17, and your 34s would probably, you have 34, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would fit in there too. Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to your guy, John, that does your CCWs over there. He just does an amazing job. So the folks, anybody out there that are considering getting a CCW, call Gun Range San Diego. They got their guy, John, who's just an amazing guy that does their CCW courses there. And very thorough, gives you a really nice book, and does a very good job, and has a heck of a background too. The guy's a former sheriff. So he did an amazing job for us. So
when it comes to CCWs, John, he's the guy to go to.
He is the guy to go to, and then you guys have all the accessories too, because I know Joe, when you got your CCW, then you're going, oh man, how am I going to carry what I'm going to carry? So you start going through holsters, and you got a big bucket full of them.
Yeah, and that was a whole new learning experience. And I always read that too. It's like everybody that gets into it says you're going to get a drawer full of holsters at some point.
That's exactly what happens.
I'm way ahead.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Well, because everybody's different, everybody's body type different. So sometimes a holster that works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. And it really depends on if you're carrying CCW style, where you want to carry. Some people like to do appendix. Some people like to do, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Some do it's in the smaller back. So, we try to keep a variety of holsters on. If we don't have the exact one you want in, we can order it in instantly. Like, it'll be here within a week.
Yeah, but look how much Casey knows. The guy is just like this wealth of information. Maybe it was because he was born at a Jeep in beautiful Alpine, California. I don't know, but he's just look at it. So when you're looking for some kind of product or a service, or just answer some questions or whatever, call Gun Range San Diego, give Casey a call, or just drop on down there, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'm usually here. I'm roughly here about 5 days a week. So
what's your shift? Are you working evenings or days, or what are you doing?
I usually work evenings.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very, very much for taking time out of your day and calling in. We surely do appreciate it.
Love your show.
And we will talk to you down the road, my friend.
All right. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, folks. Hey, we are going to take a small break right here on FM 96.1 AM 1170. The Answer. I'm Dave. He's Lance, and we'll be back in a moment. Folks, hey, welcome back. FM 96.1 AM 1170, The Answer. This is Gun Sports Radio. Hey, how can you make your AR rifle legal and keep your features? Well, if you want your AR to have a pistol grip, telescoping stock, foregrip, and still have a detachable magazine, check out Cali Key. We found out about it, and oh my goodness, you will not be disappointed. Whether you're buying a new AR or need to make your current AR compliant, Cali Key is a cost-effective, easy solution that will allow you to keep your AR compliant and future-proof your AR from all these horrible California gun laws. Keep your entire AR collection intact at a price you can afford with Cali Key. Check out Cali Key at CaliKey.com. That's K-A-L-I-K-E-Y, K-A-L-I-K-E-Y.com. All right, well, Michael Schwartz is not here today. He's a little under the weather. But that doesn't mean Sam the Gunman is not on the line all the way from the East Coast, and we are going to try like heck to stump this guy. Oh, no, Lance, I'm going to let you do it. I can't read your writing.
Okay. Well, this is Mike Schwartz. Sam the Gunman, how you doing, my brother?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. How's that weather there in Virginia?
Not too bad. It's cooling off. We had a beautiful day today.
I love it.
Excellent. You go shooting?
No, not yet.
It's still early. Gotcha. Well, listen, in honor of the Veterans Day, and this is for Navy vet rights, so here we go. World War II warships had large guns, 2 of them designated as 16-inch 50 caliber and 5-inch 38 caliber. What did the term caliber signify?
Okay, that's a tricky one. I believe caliber in this context signifies the length of the gun barrel in like the number of calibers. I'm not good at explaining this, but like a 5-inch, you said 5-inch 38 caliber.
That's right.
So I guess the barrel length is whatever 38 times 5 inches is.
That's exactly it. Yeah, according to this, the answer is 16 inch is the diameter of the bore. 50 indicates the length of the barrel is 50 times the diameter, or about 67 feet.
And if I may say so, I'm not. I don't know a whole lot about naval vessels, but I believe these examples are referring to Iowa-class battleships.
I think Michael is just getting bummed out that we can't catch you. So he's digging deep in the barrel, my friend.
I was pretty good with him saying that, that he wasn't good with Navy ships and stuff like that. But then now he's starting to one-up it with his Iowa class. So I'm going to do a follow-up question.
Okay.
I was going to let that one lie. Yeah, and by the way, he did really good on that one. But now I've got a second question. So that being the case, then what is the weight of the projectiles of the 16-inch gun, and how far could they go?
The weight of the projectiles, yes. I don't know offhand. Like I said, I don't know my naval vessels that well.
Okay, well, we were pushing the limits on that one. So
in terms of range, far over the horizon, they actually needed spotter planes to help them land their shells on target, because the horizon, even if you're up on the bridge of a ship, is only a few miles away, and they could go out to more than 10 miles. Right. I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly how far.
Yep.
Well, Sam, I'm your new agent, and we're going to start getting you paid, because you need to get paid for all this hard work.
Let's get Michael Schwartz to pay him an In-N-Out Burger certificates.
Well, they don't have In-N-Out.
That's the idea.
Oh, he's trying to drag you out to California. I see how that's rolling. All right, buddy. Well, hey, thank you very much, and we appreciate all your insight. And today is a wash. I don't think that was a fair question, being I'm the host of the show, because you've never stated that you were you were an expert in military armament. So you get a pass on that one.
I think he did it really good.
Well, yeah, he still got 90% of it right.
He did, and over horizon,
then you tried to trick him.
It was over 10 miles. They have a range up to roughly 24 miles. And by the way, the projectile is rumored to be somewhere between 1,600 and 2,400 pounds.
Well, that's why they use machines to load the weapon.
Were you ever on one of those? I was on the New Jersey one time.
Yeah. Oh, I've been on ships, but I was in the Army. I don't like sitting out
I've
in
been
the
in
water
some of those. Amazing stuff.
Look at me. I was on submarines. We just shoot at them.
Oh, my God. You were on a submarine.
Were you a sub guy?
So that's what's wrong with you.
Okay.
That's right. I was a steely-eyed killer of the deep.
Yeah. And what vintage ship? I mean, the old diesel battery, or did you
Actually, I was on a 637 class a nuclear attack sub.
Oh.
But then I had transferred. I spent a year on one of the last diesel boats on the Blueback. Because somebody told me they never go out to sea, which that turned out to be bad information. But, but that's what I fell for.
Yeah. Well, they just needed somebody over there. All right, Sam, thank you very much. Have a great Thanksgiving. I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you next week with another titillating Stump the Stan the Gunman.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful.
You were in a submarine, huh?
I was.
Wow. What years?
From, 75 to 81.
Okay, yeah, so you were in nuclear power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
I was on the Jefferson City as a guest. They picked us up and took us out there and did the, drop down to 650 feet. And then they come, plunging up, but not so much going up as fast as they did, because
like
of
the
Hawaii,
movies.
They didn't do the
deal.
emergency blow. They just
right,
did
but
normal.
I'll tell you what. So then we're all standing around, and the thing's the size of a living room. It's huge. And so then it's, okay, who wants to go up the conning tower? And so, a couple of us, there was 4 of us, and we said, okay, we're going to do that. That thing's, like way up there. So they had this harness. So they're putting people in these harnesses. I go, what's this for? So I'm looking at the conning tower. I think, crap, I need that harness just to protect me from going up that thing, because you had to go up this big old ladder and turn around the other way and go up the other ladder. And then when you get to the top, it's this hole, and you have to reach outside of the hole to pull yourself up and out of this thing. And once you do, you're standing up there with some guy with a 30 or 50 caliber or whatever it was. And then, some guy driving the boat. And then they hook you on to the side of the submarine. So the idea of that stupid, harness was, I found out, was basically if you fell,
trolling,
you're going to hit the side of that submarine so hard, you're going to break every bone in your body. And that way they just don't have to go find you.
Yeah, it was a lot easier to do the
retrieval,
recovery.
Right.
Yeah.
Retrieval.
It was a body
vest.
retrieval deal, but I got to tell you, it really was really stunning being up there. Just me and the guy in the 50 caliber and the whatever.
Yeah, but can you imagine?
And then I got to get off.
But can you imagine being out there? What's tour duty in a submarine when you're out to sea?
It depends on what you're doing. I mean, on a fast attack boat, we used to go out. We'd go out for a week, come in for a week, go out for a month, come in for 2 weeks, go out for 2 weeks, come in, for a little bit, and then every year or two, we would do a Westpac where we would go out and they would do what they used to call a spec op out there, where you would do stuff that they say they don't do. And, you could be down. Really, the only limitation is how much food can you carry.
Right.
And, some of the spec ops we did were probably more than 60 days, maybe approaching 80 days, 90 days, something like that. So it just depends on how much food you can carry.
That's exactly why I joined the Army. I like dirt. I like my feet on the ground.
Wow.
I want to get a Whataburger. You ever had a Whataburger?
I have.
Is it any good?
No.
They try to compare it. They try to compare it to In-N-Out.
No, I would say In-N-Out was
Okay,
better,
that's all I needed.
at least than the one I had anyway.
Yeah. Hey, before we forget, I know we're getting close to the top of the hour, but I like throwing this commercial out for Firearms Legal because I got to tell you, folks, for $10 a month, you're crazy not to be proactive for your whole family.
With all the stuff we talk about all the time.
I know. And you know what? In my attitude, I mean, something as simple as a taser, pepper spray, that could get you in trouble.
It does.
If it's in the wrong hands, or if a police officer happens to, make an issue out of it, I guarantee you're never going to win an argument with a police officer. It just isn't going to happen. I don't care what the situation. So you need to be protected. $10 a month. Ever since I started doing this commercial, whenever I go out for breakfast, lunch, I've yet to be able to get out the door for $10. So I figure if I could just hold back one meal, I can protect my family for what, a year? Or it's a month, $10 a month.
$10 a month. Plus, they got a really cool app. So it has a ton of information on there, as far as, can I carry my gun in my car and all this other stuff. So
right. And if you do get in trouble, you might end up getting John Dillon as your representative because he's part of
him on the show too.
firearmslegal.com. That's firearmslegal.com. Give him a call, 844-357-9400. Any question you may have, if you can't find it on the website at firearmslegal.com, call them. They're more than happy to chat with you. There's a backup number of 469-310-9100. I recommend you go to firearmslegal.com. It's an easy site to navigate, and it'd be much better to be educated and safe than to get yourself into a sticky situation.
Exactly.
No, and that's something too. All gun owners should really consider and think about. And we've written about this in the past too. Right. It's not just for concealed carry, but if you own a gun at all, because even if you do everything right, if something happens and you have to use that gun, even if you do everything right, it's going to cost you a boatload of money just to go through the process.
That's right.
$10 a month is a great deal.
Is totally changed. Hey, by the way, San Diego County Gunowners.com. We want to thank them for all their support. The Gun Range San Diego. CAFirearmsLaw.com. That's John Dillon's, Gasky Dillon and Balance LLP. Firearmslegal.com, which I just mentioned. TridentGunsmithing.com takes care of all your weapons and helps you if you're a hunter. And last but not least, CaliKey.com. All right. Does anybody want to explain why 6 failed? I mean,
I think it was the way it was written.
Were you confused?
Yeah, it was torpedo. It was definitely, they wanted a torpedo, and that's just basically how they did it. So,
are you saying Californians are ignorant?
No, but I think the tide's turning, though. The tide is turning. Joe and I were talking about this. We'll talk about it next week on the show.
Let's do it.
But the tide is turning.
All right, folks. Hey, support all of our advertisers, and we'll support you. Don't be reactive. Be proactive. And always tune in every Sunday, 4 to 5, KCBQ and FM 96.1 for the best darn gun show.
And thanks, Joe, for showing up.
Oh, we always thank Joe for showing up.
And you're welcome.
He's a great guy. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got another show coming up. San Diego Off-Road Coalition. You're going to want to hear it.
Cool.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.